Welcome to the Red Flags Talk Show. I'm your host, Abigail. Today we'll be talking about 100 questions to ask your significant other before you get married. Question number 1. How do you usually handle disagreements? And this is a good question off the back because you want to know how this person handles disagreements. When you get into an argument, when you're not happy with this person, when you're upset and you disagree, how does this person handle the situation? Off the bat, when you ask this question, and hopefully they're honest, you get to know whether you want to stay with this person or not. Because if they handle disagreements and they start getting angry with you or throwing stuff or cursing you out, that's already a red flag. So you need to get rid of that person. Number 2, what does a healthy argument look like to you? And I don't like arguments. That's just me. I don't like arguments. But some people, they just live off drama. They like to argue. But if you're trying to be drama free, argument free, try not to have arguments because that goes right along with disagreements. So try not to have arguments. But it is a good question to ask someone. Question number 3. Do you need space or closeness after conflict? Some people need space. Some people need closeness. But what is always important to do is always apologize when you get into an argument or a disagreement. It's very important. What I learned from my last relationship, my partner never apologized. So that built in me not to apologize. When I got into my current marriage, my husband taught me about apologizing, which is totally different from saying sorry. It's not the same thing. When you apologize, that means you're not going to commit those things ever again. Number 4, how do you prefer to be comforted? Do you like comfort during our communication, during our conflicts? Do you like to be comforted or do you like to be left alone? Number 5, what are your communication deal breakers? Something that's going to trigger you. If you're triggered easily, it's a red flag. It's a red flag for me. If you're easily triggered or easily offended, it's a red flag. I cannot deal with people who are easily triggered. I cannot. But you're totally different from me. So this is still a good question to ask. Number 6, how do you express anger? How do you express anger? Are you someone that's going to curse me out or grab me by the arm or choke me out because you're angry or say mean things? How do you express your anger? Number 7, do you believe in going to bed angry? Now, I don't believe in going to bed angry. But if you do, then that's how you hold grudges. You go to bed angry. Number 8, how do you apologize? Not just by words, but with actions as well. When you say you're not going to do something and you apologize for doing those things, make sure you follow up with actions. Number 9, what makes you feel heard? Sometimes we as humans don't know how to express ourselves. We don't feel like we're being heard. So please let your partner know, how would you like to be heard? Number 10, what's something I do that frustrates you? Now, if you're in the dating stage, courting stage, there shouldn't be anything that frustrates you. But you can ask them, are there certain things that frustrate you? What are your triggers? Number 11. What are your core values? What do you value the most in me, in life, in general? What do you value the most? I hope it's God. Because if God is not your number one value, then we have nothing in common. But that's something that you can talk with your significant other. Whatever your beliefs are, you have a different core value than me. Number 12, how important is religion to you? If we're the same religion, then that's a green flag. If we're not, then that's a red flag. Definitely, we cannot be a Christian and an atheist together. How I was with my ex-husband. We didn't see eye to eye at all. Number 13. Do you want a partner who shares your beliefs? I'm pretty sure everyone wants someone who shares their beliefs. Number 14. What does success mean to you? Number 15. What role does family play in your life? Now, this is an important question because you can either have kids before you get married or you can both not have kids. So it's a good time to talk about having kids or not having kids or not wanting kids at all, or discussing the fact that you can't have kids. If you're in a situation that you have health issues and you can't have kids, then it's a very important time to ask your significant other if they want kids. If you can't give them kids, then what will be your next role? What will be your next step in life? Will it be adopting? Will it be a surrogate? Will it be IVF? These are important questions to ask. And if you do have kids, we have to co-parent. How are we co-parenting? How are we being stepmom, stepdad? What are our roles for the kids? Number 16. What are your political views, if they're relevant? I know so many people who don't see eye to eye with political views, and that can damage a relationship. If you don't have any political views, good for you. That's a green flag. You don't have to worry about that. But if you do have political views, then you have to work past that. You have to work past it. But if you can't, then just move on. How do you define loyalty? Everyone wants a faithful person in the relationship. How do you define it? Number 18. What does communication mean to you? What does it mean to you? Is it texting, talking over the phone, FaceTime? You have to talk face to face. You have to express your feelings. What does communication mean to you? Number 19. How important is honesty, even if it hurts? I tell you, honesty is the best thing for your relationship. If you can't be honest with someone, then you're just going to live in a lie. Number 20. What are your non-negotiables? Number 21. How do you manage money? Now, everyone is different. I can't speak for you, but for myself, I prefer a joint bank account with my spouse. We did start off at first separated, and then later on in the marriage, we joined our accounts together. I prefer it that way because I can see what my husband brings in and he can see what I bring in, what we spend and stuff like that. It just makes sense in our marriage. But everyone is different. Some people prefer their separate accounts. Some people prefer not to share their accounts with one another. But the way you manage money is very important because if you're in debt and you want to buy a home and you have bad credit, that all plays into it. So how do you manage your money? I remember when my husband and I sat down and we opened up our bank accounts, and especially mine because I had a little spending problem. So he's wanted to know if I had any subscriptions, any payments, payment plans, any credit card debt, because this is very important. He owned the home, and whatever debt I was in, we had to pay it off, but I wasn't in any debt, thank God. You have to pay it off. You have to pay off your debt before you get into a relationship or work it out. Do a payment plan, something. My husband is very against payment plans. And I don't blame him. I'm too. If you can't afford it, don't get into a payment plan. Don't. I was reading this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and I learned so much from it and how the rich dad was the one who didn't have a 9 to 5. He was running a business. And the poor dad was someone who had a 9 to 5, but he didn't know how to save his money, manage his money. So this is a good book to read. Number 22. Are you a spender or a saver? I'm gonna be honest. I was a little bit of both. I was like in the middle. So it's very important to be honest with your significant other on how you manage your money. Number 23. Do you have debt? Debt is a headache. You don't want to have debt. Be honest with your significant other and let them know what kind of debt you're in. Debt plays into everything. Your credit score, you owning a place, everything. You don't want to have that. Number 24. What are your financial goals? Are your financial goals to own a home, to own some assets, have a retirement plan, have a college fund, to have a trust fund for your children? What are your financial goals? Are you trying to save up for a vacation? Are you trying to save up for a specific thing? You need to have a financial goal. Number 25, should finances be shared or separate? So that's up to you whether you want to share your finances or have them separate. Like I said, I prefer shared finances, but everyone is different. Number 26, how do you feel about budgeting? Now, if you don't care about a budget, you're just a spender in my eyes if you don't care about a budget. But if you budget, then that's a green flag. Number 27, what's your attitude toward big purchases? So my husband and I have come to an agreement. Whatever is a big purchase, it's over $500. If I'm going to spend $500 or if he's going to spend $500, we talk about it and see whether if it's a good purchase or not. Because we come into things like card problems or utility problems, and those things, when you own a home, those things come out of your pocket. So you need to have this discussion about big purchases. I cannot go out and purchase anything I want past $500 without my husband's approval, because then I won't be considered a submissive wife. I'll just be spending. What is the need to spend over $500? Why is it so important? Please have this discussion with your loved one about spending, about making big purchases, because you don't want to end up homeless or your lights cut off, your water cut off, any of those things. And please don't put it on the credit card. Number 28. How important is financial security? When you own a home, you want to be financially secured because anything in the market can happen. The market goes up and down every single day. Your property taxes can go up. Anything can happen. So it's very important to have financial security. If you're in a good career, if you make 6 figures and over, then you know you need to set aside money for IRS, because then you won't be in a hellhole trying to scramble for money at the last minute to pay IRS. Number 29. Would you support a partner financially in need? So it all depends on the situation. I don't believe in a woman helping out a man financially, because a man's supposed to be a leader, he's supposed to be a provider. However, there are times that you will need help, but this can't be a repeated cycle. Number 30. What does financial transparency mean to you? What does it mean? Can I trust you with my bank account? Can I trust you with my credit card? Can I trust you with my debit card? Number 31. What does your ideal daily routine look like? Are you the type to go out and work out every day after work? Do you go to the mall? Do you go to the library? What is your daily routine? Pray? Do you read the Bible? Are you going to church? What are you doing daily? Are you scrolling on the internet all day, every day on your phone? Because that's a red flag. No, no. We're not doing that. Are you watching the P word? I don't want no man of mine watching the P word. Because, first of all, that's adultery, and second of all, that's disrespectful. So, I hope that's not in your daily activity, your daily routine. 32. Are you messy or organized? I don't want to be with anyone that's messy. That's a red flag to me. I don't want to have to be cleaning up after your mess. You're a grown adult. You should be cleaning up your own mess. I'm not going to be your mom. I'm not going to be your maid. Let me know right now whether you're messy or organized, because I will cut you off. 33. How do you divide household chores? Are you going to clean the dishes? Are you going to clean the bathroom? Are you going to sweep them up? Are you going to vacuum? What are you going to do in the household? That is a very green flag, because if you can help me out in those things, I know that I'm not just here to be a maid. I'm here to have partnership with you. I'm here to be your equal. I can't just be the only one cooking and cleaning and you're just sitting around just watching sports all day. It's not happening. Number 34. How important is alone time? For me, I really like alone time. When I mean alone time, like no kids, no husband. I want to go to the nail salon by myself. I want to go out for nature walks by myself. I want to do certain things by myself. Get my hair done by myself. Get my facials done by myself. That's my alone time. Maybe your alone time is different. You want to watch a movie alone. You want to watch TV alone. You want to do things alone. You want to eat out alone. Everyone's alone time is different. 35. How do you spend your weekends? Is it at the club? Is it at some party place? I don't want to deal with anyone who's partying every weekend. I can't. And that cuts into budgeting. You're partying all weekend. What money are you saving? 36. What are your sleep habits? Are you a good sleeper? Do you sleep at night? Do you take naps? Are you up all night? Can you sleep with the light off or a little lamp? How do you sleep at night? 37. How do you feel about pets? If you're a cat person, a dog person, reptile person, whatever, how do you feel about pets? I know when I came into my marriage, my husband said he's not a fan of pets. I didn't have any pets at the time, but he told me he's not a fan of pets. I am. I love pets. I don't mind them. But he told me he's not a fan of pets. 38. Do you enjoy socializing or staying in? Do you like going out to dinner? Do you like going out to friends' house? Do you like going to the movies? Do you like going to the mall? What do you like doing? Or do you just like staying home all day and being a homebody? 39. What kind of home environment do you want? Do you want it to be a house of prayer? Do you want it to be a party house? What kind of home environment do you want? Do you want people in and out your home all the time? Do you want me to host people? How do you want it to be? 40. How do you handle stress day to day? A person that's always stressed is a green flag, period. It's a green flag automatically. I understand you have some stress days, but every single day, no. It's a green flag for me. How do you handle stress day to day? I try not to be stressed at all. I try not to. 41. Do you want children? 42. If so, how many? So this is very important. 43. What parenting style do you believe in? Are you a soft parenting? Are you a disciplined parent? Are you a crunchy parent on how they say? What kind of parenting do you believe in? 44. How should discipline be handled? Everyone has different type of discipline of way of handling it for their children. So it's very important to talk about those things. 45. What values would you teach your kids? Do you want your kids to have the same repeated cycles that you and your family had when you were raised, or do you want a different value for your kids? Which is very important. 46. What if we can have children? Is that going to be a red flag for you if we can't have children? 47. Are you open to adoption? 48. Would you take on caregiving roles? 49. How do you feel about child care? Family versus daycare. So many people don't like daycare or child care. I'm not opposed to it. It's just plays into your budget. But I wouldn't recommend being a stay-at-home mom either. And if you do become a stay-at-home mom, just make sure you have your ducks in a row. Make sure you have your career, your degree, certification, something. Don't just go into the marriage not having anything and not being educated, not being certified in anything, not having any degrees, no career whatsoever, and then becoming a stay-at-home mom. That doesn't make any sense. 50. What are your thoughts on education? 51. What makes you feel loved? 52. How important is physical affection? I, a physical person, I love physical touch. And when my husband and I got together, we set boundaries. We said we weren't going to touch until we got married. We didn't hug, we didn't kiss, we didn't hold hands until we got married because God convicted us of that. We were doing that before marriage. We weren't kissing on the mouth. We were kissing on the cheek. And God convicted us. He gave us a scripture for that. We just went by that scripture. I only recommend physical affection for married people. But if you're not down for that, then do whatever you please. You're an adult. But in my last marriage, my ex, he wasn't physical. He was physical, domestic wise, but he wasn't physical, like giving me hugs or holding my hand. No affection whatsoever. So if you're not affectionate, that's a red flag. 53. What are your expectations around sex? What are you expecting? It every day, 3 times a day? What, every single hour? Like, what are you expecting? Please talk about these things. It's very important because you guys can be on the same page. Everyone doesn't have the same sex drive. 54. How do you handle mismatched libido? So when someone has a higher sex drive and you have a lower sex drive, how can you work those things out? Someone wants it every day, someone wants it once a week. How do you handle that? You have to talk it out. 55. What are your boundaries? Even in intimacy, you need to have boundaries as a married couple. If you don't set boundaries, then you're just going to be violated. 56. What makes you feel emotionally safe? 57. How do you express love? 58. What hurts your feelings the most? 59. How do you rebuild intimacy after conflict? 60. What does romance mean to you? 61. How involved should extended family be? And I don't mind family, but do not involve your family in your household problems, your household issues, your household arguments, because when you tell them, they're only going to see your significant other as the mean person, as the person that hurts your feelings. They're not going to see them in a nice light that they first seen them in. So don't talk about those things unless you're being abused. 62. What boundaries should we set with family? 63. How do you handle family conflict? There shouldn't be any family conflict. 64. Are holidays spent together or separately? So it's always important to talk about how do you spend holidays, or do you even celebrate holidays? Some people don't celebrate holidays. But my family lives in another state, so I can't visit them. But I'd always send them gifts. And then My husband's family, they live here in Florida. We always celebrate Thanksgiving with them. That's always his family tradition to celebrate Thanksgiving with his five other siblings. I have no problem with that because I love them. They're a wonderful family. I have no problem with them. So talk about those things. 65. What if our families don't get along? If your families don't get along, that's automatically a red flag. You're not going to be with me not getting along with my family. Definitely not. That's a red flag. 66. How important are friendships outside the relationship? So if you have friends that you're constantly hanging out with and you're always on the phone with them, it's time to grow up and let them know that you're going to settle down now and get married. I have my friends still. We talk here and there. But everyone has their own life. Everyone has their own thing going on. We're not in high school anymore. 67. How much social time do you need? 69. How do you prioritize partner versus friends? 70. What role should friends play in our lives? 71. Where do you want to live long term? Do you want to live in my state, your state, in another city, another state? So where do you want to live long term? And as a woman, we should always be led by our husband because he's the one who's providing. Question 73. What are your career ambitions? Hopefully, you already have a career by now because love doesn't pay the bills, so you have to have a career. You have to be working, you have to have some source of income. Either if you're a female or you're a male, you need to have some source of income. 74. How do you balance work and personal life? 75. What does your ideal future look like? It's very important to talk about the future. You want to know, what does your partner want in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Lord willing, we live till 100 years old. What are your future plans? 76. What are your biggest dreams? 77. How do you handle change or uncertainty? 78. What legacy do you want to leave? Hopefully you want to leave a legacy of planting God in your family, in your children's life, because if you don't have God in your life as number one, then all hell will break loose. 79. How do you define a good life? 80. Where do you see us in 10 years? 81. What does marriage mean to you? And a lot of people say marriage is just a piece of paper. It's not just a piece of paper. It's a covenant. It's spiritual. Marriage is a contract between you, your spouse, and God. That's what a marriage is. Become one with your spouse. You're equal. You're not separate. 82. What are your expectations of a spouse? 83. Should roles be traditional, equal, or flexible? I like flexible. I like both traditional and flexibility. 84. How are decisions made in the relationship? 85. What does partnership look like to you? How do you handle imbalance, effort, income, etc.? What responsibilities matter most to you? 88. How do you support your partner emotionally? If you can't support me emotionally, that's a red flag automatically. You have to be able to support me emotionally. 89. What does respect look like to you? 90. What would make you feel unappreciated? And unappreciation is very big in marriage. It makes someone feel like they're not worth anything. They can't be appreciated. You do little things for someone and they don't appreciate you. It's very important to appreciate your spouse before you get married and during marriage. 91. What are your past relationship patterns? 92. What have you learned from past breakups? 93. Have you been unfaithful? 94. What are your views on cheating? 95. How do you handle addiction, if applicable? If you have an addiction off the back, that's a red flag, because being in a marriage for 14 years that with someone who had an addiction, they prefer their addiction over you. So please don't get into a marriage with someone that has an addiction problem. It can be alcohol, drugs, financial addiction, gambling addiction. It's going to be mentally draining. 96. What are your mental health needs? 97. How do you cope with grief or loss? 98. What would make you consider divorce? I don't believe in divorce unless it's for abuse and adultery. Some people get divorced over any little thing, which makes no sense, because what's the whole point of beginning a covenant and saying vows and then you're divorcing? 99. How do you handle major life crisis? And 100. What scares you most about marriage? If you're scared to be married, you shouldn't even be getting married, because you should be marrying your life partner, your best friend, your ride or die, how they say, your life partner, your equal, your flesh. So if you're scared to get married, you shouldn't even be scared. Thanks for watching, and remember, know the signs, save your heart.